Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to be talking about individualist anarchism, but the script to this video is based on an article not written by me, but by a like-minded person. The first time I came across the term individualism in a positive light was by reading the little-known text, The Soul of Man Under Socialism by Oscar Wilde. I've thought about how best to summarise anarchist individualism long and hard. It's quite the task, given the variety of offshoots and their seeming contradictions. I chose Oscar Wilde's text because it was my off-ramp from traditional forms of socialism or collectivism. Before reading it, my life was order, discipline, and dedication to a cause whose own dedication was to itself, despite lofty claims. The cause will suck you dry and leave you disillusioned and confused. It is riddled with the authoritarian logic of the state and industriousness, moralism, hierarchy, and repression. These are all synonyms of the good cause. In a capitalist world, good is death, exploitation, and the continued destruction of Mother Earth. The party, the union, and myriad political bodies deal in the same snake oil and disciplinarian modes. What a vile spectacle to behold, how hard it is to hold on to oneself. In The Soul of Man Under Socialism, Wilde repeatedly refers to individualistic socialism as opposed to a barrack socialism, a repressive socialism, where the needs of people are met and developed as individuals is encouraged in every avenue, science, philosophy, and the arts of their choosing. His socialism is not built on a grand design using the logic of state, duty, and so forth to compel one's activities. The text holds none of the flattery afforded to a state of living in poverty which many socialists dabble in, romanticising desperation, making excuses for it, or attempting to alleviate it without its abolition. By doing so, prolonging that state of indignity. Wilde eulogises the thief, claiming it is a person of greater character who steals rather than receives charity. Like Wilde, many early individualists were socialists of a type and believed that the total value of a worker's labour should be theirs alone. The essay is decidedly focused on the development of individual liberty and freedom. To be clear, I am not referring to individualism in a way understood within the popular lexicon. I am referring to anarchist individualism, which recognises not just the collective will, the will of its leaders and pastors, but capitalism and the state as enemies of its own desires, and those desires are as unique and numerous as the proponents of individualism. As such, individualists have been involved in various activities over the centuries: pacifist organising, building educational facilities based on libertarian education, utopian colonies popularised in South America, keeping to themselves, stargazing, and conspiring against the enemies of their desires. There are examples of individualist anarchists who have resorted to violent acts against the state and capital: the Bono Gang, conspiracy cells of fire, and the Informal Anarchist Federation, to name a few. It is important to remember that these groups do not define the philosophy and are often used to scapegoat individualists and anarchists, whether you feel this is fair or not. It was in fact Luigi Galleani, an insurrectionist and anarchist communist, who popularised violent reprisals against the state and capital through propaganda of the deed. However, many would describe his anti-organisationalism as a form of individualism. Given the multifaceted tapestry of will, myriad interests, and personal desires of its proponents, it is hard to pin down anarchist individualism. The voluntary nature of anarchist organisational models, frequently spoken of by Emma Goldman, suggests that even within those focused on the cause of socialism, the individual remains an essential feature within decision making. Individualism can also be gleaned in what Murray Bookchin called, derisively, lifestyle anarchism, countercultural movements, and other alternative lifestyles. His latent Stalinism shined through his discarding of fundamental anarchist ethos. If he had done his research properly, he would have found that anarchists have always tied their politics of liberation to the present and as such pioneered many new modes of living, experiments in homesteading, squatting and sexual liberty, to name but a few. The tie between means and ends within anarchism does not end on the political or organisational plane. Liberation is not some pie in the sky to be deferred beyond death. If liberation means anything, it means something in the here and now. Many detractors of anarchism have leveraged the term individualist or lifestylist against anarchists as an insult or to discredit the ideas of anarchism throughout history. Some of us are comfortable, happy even, with the word levelled at us. In my mind, individualism is the purest, for lack of a better term, of anarchist thought. It rests on axioms that are the fundamental bases of all anarchist tendencies. That a person is theirs and that state and disciplinary methods are to be rejected alongside all external authorities. That is not to reject cooperation. How else would early individualists have organized communities throughout South America or colonies all over the globe to live off the fruits of their labor? Instead, individualists tend to organize based on self-interest, mutual agreement, and gain. Remembering that individualism cannot be reduced to any tendency within it is paramount. I've neglected to mention several influential writers such as Novatore and Martucci. If I had to summarize it in one sentence, anarchist individualism is this: there is no greater authority than yourself. I recommend writers like Dora Marsden, Sidney Parker, Emile Armand, and Voltairine de Cleyre to learn more about the topic. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.